Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace. Isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace. Everyone lives, everyone dies. Loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. Gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. All those that are traveling all across the world, those are sitting down in the chair and actually enjoying some chair dancing. Or others than that. What can I say? Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Let me get my breath again. I had a cookie before I started. Shouldn't have done that. Give that thing a shake. Took the charger off. Yes, we're here. Thank you guys for being part of the chat room. Those are actually in Facebook as well as on YouTube. I have a new page in YouTube, and it's called Chasing Shadows. The reason why, is because when a person gets a strike from YouTube itself, I guess they have a tendency of wanting to, you're gone, right? So I thought, okay, fine. I'll do what I can do. Best is to wait. And I'm just chasing my shadow like a dog on a tail, just you want to find, well, you're just like Peter Pan, right? Peter Pan has a shadow, but the shadow fights back. Well, that's what I did. I'm fighting back. I'm not going to wait for it to come to me, right? Let's see. Yeah, Keith, you're funny. Thank you, guys. Hang on a second. The sugar is coming to the surface. That's how I fix it. Now, what I have in here is apple cider vinegar. And I take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with 8 ounces of water. And it's great for digestion, great for your breath, great for everything, really. Helps the body clean. So, and Marty says, not 30 seconds into your show and freezing up. Well, must be cold down there, being in Saskatchewan. So anyways, we have a lot to talk about. Number one is, well, first of all, let's get started here with one thing, and that is last November the 11th, we had Veterans Day. Some people call it Remembrance Day in the States and or Canada, as well as Canada. Here in Vancouver, there were veterans that had walked into the restaurant. And these are veterans, okay, on Remembrance Day, after they do the ceremony to remember those that have lost their lives, to pay homage to them, right? And to those that are serving right now as we speak, because myself, my father, as well as my uncle, had served in the military. My father was stationed Camp Shiloh in Manitoba. My uncle Dave was stationed in Portsla Prairie. My father wanted me to join. I did not, but I still respect it. Myself, I'm actually a member of the BC Aboriginal Veterans Society. Basically, it's like my job is to carry the flags to locations, a variety of flags, for example, if we're going to be doing a powwow or any type of Indigenous event, and that the veterans are asked to come, okay, then if they show up, my job is to make sure that the veterans are acknowledged, as well as we carry the flags in for the veterans. That's my job. I've been doing it for over 20 years. So I pretty well know the protocol, what veterans, how they need to be recognized as well as respected. Those who have actually fought for this country to keep Canada safe. Okay. And same thing, all those that have sacrificed their lives in all countries to protect their country. They're all veterans. We always remember those wars from the past. But one thing I will say, and I'm very, very not happy about this, but a few veterans walked into a restaurant that they're not, and they're not in the arm. Never did, never will. Okay, the veterans did not. They refused to. So they walked into the restaurant expecting to get served. And lo and behold, the servers, or whoever was the server, whoever was the manager of the restaurant, refused service to serve the food to a veteran because they didn't have a passport. Okay. You guys need to know what the military laws are. No veteran is allowed to share his or her medical records to any government. Any. None whatsoever. It is, you are above all federal and provincial governments. This is the military. And yet, this woman or women refused service for the veterans. And there's a video on this as well. The veteran got pretty upset. He was wearing his medallions, like he's wearing all his medals to show that he is a veteran. He's, I sacrificed, I served, I did 2 services of Afghanistan, and you're telling me that I can't get fed because you're so adamant about not giving that, because you want me to give you a passport. I can't do that. They can't do that. They're not allowed to give their medical information to the people in the restaurant whatsoever. Dr. Bonnie can't. No health authority is above a military, not above the military. And they go ahead and they're telling the military that they cannot be served food or drink. Yet, why was it not on the mainstream media? Why was it not on TV? Why did it never get around? Why wasn't talked about? Because they already know CBC, CBS, any TV station would be shamed by the military. Okay? They would be shamed. Here we go again. Your connection's unstable. Yep. Typical YouTube. They're saying I'm unstable. Some things up, folks. I'm telling you. It's important that we need to know that the truth needs to be shared, folks. This is important. You know, like I said, no federal or provincial government has any authority above the military. They have no mandatory laws or bylaws that are above military. Whether you served or not served, whether you served on tour or if you're a veteran or serving, they cannot go above you. They cannot demand a passport. They can't do that. It doesn't work that way. So Stella says, my baby bro served a couple Afghan tours. Educate the people. Yeah. According to Judith, Judith says that restaurant won't be open much longer. Sad. Hopefully she'll lose her job. You know what? The restaurant is not the idea of the girl losing her job. I understand, because she's told not what to do. She says, my job's on the line. And here's what he said to her. He actually shamed her. He said, why do you do this? Why do you actually follow rules? He says, an illegal rule that you have to tell me that you can't serve me. He said, you should be ashamed of yourself. He told her, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know what she said? Well, I have to keep my job. Then all she had to do is say, look, let me get the manager or the owner. That's all she had to do. But she wouldn't do that either. She basically were trying to push them out the door. No, you can't come in. No, you have to leave now. Oh, he was mad. The police would not come in. The police would not show up. You don't mess with a veteran. The police refused. They're not going to be there. Because they already know they cannot interfere with the military. That's a law. It's above all laws. I'm just saying, it's something that needs to be done, right? It's become an issue that is going too far. People are abusing us. Okay, I am not in the army. I refuse to be in the army, and I never will. And yet they're going to blame people like me, that these others that are jabbed, that end up in the hospital, and they're going to blame me for it, or blame others that are not in the army. Oh, it's your fault. You put me here. No, it's not. Never was, never will. Who made up that story that we are the ones that put them there? Mr. Fauci. Who were the ones that blamed us, saying that we did this? Bill Gates. So the thing is that you guys understand one thing. This is what they're doing. They're trying to make you believe everything. And most of you fall for it. So it's getting to be the point now. That's why I had to change my program. Well, I didn't have to. They forced me out. They said to me that YT here told me that I cannot come back until February. They banned me till February. Why? Because they have new guidelines. They said, I'm unsafe. I'm hurting people. Right? Blair says, I was in the hospital and the doctor told me that the unvaxxed people are getting the vaxxed people sick, and that's why the unboxed people are in the hospital. Hang on a second here. This is what someone's saying. You guys are going so fast here. I thought what a bunch of crap, and the way I was treated in there was the weirdest experience I ever had. You know what? That's the thing. The thing is that let me share something with you guys, by the way. In 1932, there is a medical law that was passed by the medical government. And that is, it is illegal to heal people. It's illegal to cure. It is. It's illegal to cure. So, when a person gets sick, your first thing come to mind is actually go to the hospital. We all have to go to the hospital sometimes. If it becomes so severe, we got to go. Like Sharon says, the Great Awakening is not about keeping your job. Sovereignty is more important. Started when when the governor said that you can tell on your neighbors, and if they have parties, etc., during the C. We got our mayor here in Surrey, British Columbia, put up these huge electric signs with a superhero feature, and has the picture of the symptom on this guy's chest, and he's supposed to be a superhero, and and it says, "Turn in your neighbor. I'll give you $50." Really? And you're calling those people a hero? You're called a hero because you don't like your neighbor, and you figure, well, there's more than one person there. That's wrong. It never was, folks. When people gather, there's nothing wrong with that. Never was. Don't forget, they want to keep you apart. They want to keep you separated from your family. They want to keep you. This is what they like to do. They want to terrorize your families. This is what the secret society is doing. This is what they've always wanted to do. They've been doing this for a long, long time. There's so much evidence and so many books that were written for what they've been doing to a lot of people. So many books. And yet, people like you and I would read them. We either think it's just fiction, nonfiction, or it's predicted. There are so many, like my last show last week, when I've talked about Elizabeth Ruth Montgomery. I've talked about many other healers and readers in the field. And in their books, back in the 60s and 70s, they even predicted that in 2021 or 2020, 2021, this was going to happen. They predicted it. But nobody wanted to believe it. Even Sylvia Browne even predicted it. And she's passed away. Or is she? Ooh. Right? When you become a threat to someone or to society, when you become so smart, and if you refuse to go to the dark side, then they plan on making sure that you don't make it. They'll go as far as actually taking you out. You know, these things happen. There's a lot of really bad people out there that are trying to harm us. You know, gets to be crazy. Okay, that's why like I said, that's why my show is called Chasing Shadows, because we are chasing shadows. I had a dream about it, and I thought, hey, why not use this name right now for a while? Still between two worlds, chasing shadows. That's my job. I call them out on it. There are people out there even today. I mean, I don't want to hate people that are already vaxxed, because that's not my job. That's not what I'm here for. Because those are actually, and I'll tell you folks, there are some people out there that are probably watching the show, they actually decide to get vaxxed, or double vaxxed, or even triple vaxxed. You know, I don't hate you guys for what you've done. I dislike the idea that you did do it, because now you're going to have problems with your health, because I've already seen the ingredients that are in them. And there is a doctor who I've got the video on it, and she actually took the very same vaccine that was used for the public. She took it to the lab and she examined it. Guess what? Lots of stuff in there that you would never have ever wanted in your arm. And she shared all the ingredients that are in it. I've got the video. So if anybody wants to see that video, you're more than welcome to ask. And she's a doctor. A lab. She's actually knows all of her stuff. And she's not one of them. She's just one. And there's thousands upon thousands of people out there right now that are doing the same work as she does. But now doctors and nurses are told today in all the hospitals not to open their mouth ever, or they would be not just lose their job. Now they're threatening them to actually being possibly sued, because they're trying to do everything they can to threaten people and scare them. There's one nurse I talked to, and she said that they one of the bosses came up told her, she said if she didn't keep her mouth shut, keep her mouth closed quietly, and he was making the symbol of the button on her nose, on her mouth, right? He said to her that some people come to her home and take her children away from her. Even the hospitals are threatening. But who told the hospital? And what gives them the right to say they're going to take their? And who gives them the right who has the right to threaten someone's life and family and say they're going to take their children away from them if they don't keep their mouth shut? This majorly thing, this threat, now is called communism. This is communism. And it's getting to be sickening. If I'd have known, if I heard that with that woman, and if he came up to her and I overheard that, I'm sorry, guys, I'd be on top of that fellow. I want to know who actually told me to say that. I won't tolerate it. That's just the way it is. You know, it's sickening to see people that are trying so hard. I've got a client that called me today, and she's already had 2 miscarriages since her in the arm. She's having a hard time having babies. Why? What do you think? Right? There's going to be some new stuff coming out for you guys to hear. So I'm just leading you into some new information. So if you do see a veteran, and if he does tell a story about him being turned down, not being served in a restaurant or any business, you tell me. Please let me know. I will expose them. No one has any right to tell a person that they have to be in a booklet or a USB code, whatever, so they can't get served. No. That's absolute, and I will tell you, folks, that is absolutely that's part of the Third Reich. That's connected to all of the history of Second World War. And as we speak, and I will say this right now, in Austria, the police are now walking up to the public, the citizens, just the people that have gone shopping, and asking for their identification and ask them to see the passport. And if they don't show a passport while they're shopping, then they are arrested and fined $1,500. This is Austria. I took great pride at coming from, my family, some of my family are from there because we have royal family. I have royalty in my family, but I'm not proud of that. Not proud of what they've done. That's crap. Right? My grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my great-grandfather were the king and queen of Austria on my father's side of the family. The name is Alexa. They were kicked out of Austria. Well, they had to make a decision to leave or not, or else they'd be taken by the citizens and be executed. Something was going on. I don't know all the whole story, but I don't think my great-grandfather was actually evil. I think that there is something in there. There's tyranny of some sort, or somebody didn't like what they couldn't take control of, and so they had to escape. I got all the history in my family. So Sharon says, I'm taking my mom out of rehab tomorrow. I am not allowed to see her in her room. I have to be 6 feet away and see her in the lobby because I did not get yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go get her. You have the right to get her. You can't, and you can get, and I recommend what you do, Sharon, is to bring friends with you, family, someone to come be with you, not be by yourself, but make sure you record it and share it. Right. Okay. I believe your family story. I think the same about the Tsar family, that someone also was against them. Yes. Thank you very much. The last name, my great-grandmother and great-grandfather's name was Alexa. The last name was Alexa. They're, like I said before, they're from Austria. They actually migrated to Canada. My great-grandfather did not make all the way across the ocean, so his brother was with him at the time. So after he died, my great uncle married his wife and carried on to keep the family going. And but they had children too when they came across. They escaped with the kids. So it's my grandmother was one of them. And yeah, it's quite interesting how this whole thing turned out. And my grandma would tell me all kinds of stories when I was a kid. For her, it was very to her it was horrible that she lost her dad or lost her father on the ocean. But her great uncle raised her as one of his own, and her uncle, yeah, raised her as one of her own. And yeah, it's he was good to her. But again, my great uncle died too in a very traumatic accident. Um, after when they got ashore to Nova Scotia and they came down through Canada, lower part of Canada, they decided to settle in Red Deer, Alberta, and they became farmers or working farm labor. And my great grandmother had a really hard time to become someone of royalty to commoner. She had a hard time dealing with it. But anyways, she lost her first husband, and her second husband got run over, which is my great uncle, got run over by a thrasher. And actually, it looks like a giant steel tractor with steel wheels. What happened was everybody stopping for lunch. There were lots of people that work in the fields, and he was really tired, I guess, and he wasn't hungry, or didn't feel hungry, so he sat down and leaned back against the wheels, and I guess nobody saw him. And then when after everybody's done lunch, then they turned the thrasher on, and it backed up and ran over him. So yeah, and she she lost it for a while. Yeah, losing two husbands, crazy. Let's see here. Judith says, any on the market is packaged in insert in every box. Have any of you seen the insert is in box? No, okay. It is a complete blank. I have seen it with my own eyes. Yeah. I don't know on that one. I know very well they're going to try and get people to do the fourth one, which is supposed to be a pill. And I don't recommend it. The third one, I don't recommend you at all because it is the AID, the AIDS, okay, the IDSV. It's in it. The third one that Mr. Fau decided to add as a third to make sure that nobody recovers. So, but there is alternatives, and I'll tell you, if you guys want to know what the alternatives are, you can always write to me or contact me, and I'll tell you more about it. This is what got me kicked out in the first program, the first program last week, because they gave me the royal, or 2 weeks ago, they gave me the royal boot because I was giving advice regarding healing. So if you want to get a hold of me and find out what it is, I can tell you guys all about it. Just write to me on the same page after, right? So they're going to talk to you, anything you know about the alternatives, and I'm sure there is a fellow by the name of Gene Code who actually has made up, or actually has been given the help of it. Okay. Anyways, let's go further in. Okay. Now, last week was the also 11/11 was the Guy Fawkes Day. And I kept on telling people, remember the 5th of this, remember the 5th of November. We also need to remember to, now I'm sure a lot of you people actually are hearing the word EBS lately, and or actually have been witnessing it, because it is happening in different parts of the world. It's not happening all at once and everywhere, right? So that these things happen. So now I can tell you more about what's going to happen, or what has happened here in British Columbia. I'm sure you guys have heard about the Great Flood and the Great Landslide and all that. Well, it's my feelings. It's not what you think it is. It wasn't entirely always accidental, where people say, oh, well, it could be this, and Or, we had so much rain. Yes, we had a lot of rain. Gee, I wonder why British Columbia had so much rain for the last 2 weeks. It's because something had to happen. You remember now, folks, that in China, it happened there too. So this was our, this is what you call the 10 days of darkness. This is day 3. Okay. Why do you think they separated? Why do you think the bridge broke apart? Why do you think all 3 roads are down? Right? All 3 roads are down. That there was no access to get through. Because they had to prevent some certain things are being brought in from the dark side that was hidden in some of the transferred vehicles. And there was a group of people from the white that are the white heads, the white, they were stopping it from coming through. So they had to kick it up a notch. So HARP had to participate in this. And this is why this happens. So if I do freeze up, go to YouTube, right? Just click above your screen and go to YouTube. I'm in the chat room there. So I got 2 chat rooms. So if anybody feels that they're getting frozen, go to the chat room. Go to the YouTube chat room. And it's called Chasing Shadows. Okay, you'll see it just above. You'll see it's in there, that line above my page. You can't miss it, right? So, like I said before, our waters have come up really high. We've had major floods everywhere. I feel bad for all the farmers and the folks that are in some of the towns. Like there's the town of Hope, Abbotsford, Chilliwack, both cities, all the farmlands. There's cows that are floating everywhere. It's not good. Not just cattle, but chickens, goats, you name it. There's so many things that have happened to everybody from every areas. Now I'll tell you why. And the reason why the flood became so huge, and we all know about someone actually has started about underground tunnels, DUMBS. So they were there in Coquihalla, under the Coquihalla Highway, and they were flooded. So, yeah. Why have we never heard the term atmospheric river or even the here dome thing? Yeah, I know. I understand. So, like I said before, I feel real bad for a lot of people. So this is the beginning of the food shortage. Now, I already knew about this was going to happen soon. They just knock it off. They had to make a food shortage. So that's why they're preventing all the trucks, the semis, including the trains, from bringing in the supposed to be emergency supplies or foods or whatever else is needed. But there's some certain things you guys need to remember now too. The railroad was owned by Mr. Gates. He owns it. They had to stop it because certain things were sent through there to keep up the negative, to keep up the bad times upon us. So they had to stop that had to happen. So that's why just an opinion. What can I say? It's an opinion. Intel opinion. Right? Yeah. Big time. He bought that a couple years back, 5 or so years ago. Yeah. I mean, don't forget this guy's a trillionaire. Not a billionaire, he's a trillionaire. He owns lots of stock. But again, he's gone. He was picked up not too long ago, and so he'll be singing to the stars very soon, holding on to some special jewelry. Yep. I cannot predict it. Will it stop? Well, let's put it this way, folks. In the Abbotsford region, originally was the Sumas Lake. It actually back in the early 1920s and 30s, there was actually it was called the Sumas Lake, which actually was a lake itself. What our Canadian government had done is they actually emptied the lake, and they wanted to make money by selling land properties to the people so they could make money. So they emptied it out by creating like a dam, and they had these special pumps made to keep the water from feeding out to the fields, and that was what it was like for years. Then for some reason back in the 1990s, it broke away again. They had a flood, 1996, I think. They had the flood, and again they had to work on clearing it up. This time it couldn't be controlled, and it got higher because the machines broke down. Those pumps don't work anymore. So now they cannot replace the pumps. They have to bring in something new. And so, yeah, the dikes, they're going to have to fix everything, and they're going to have to come up with some better pumps, or they have to pay off the farmers and for the loss of their crops and their farms. And I wonder why, and this is a war, folks, between the bad and the good. It's not just between one way. It's a war between the bad and the good, because we were fighting against the idea of losing food. So the only way, and a lot of these multi-billionaires, especially Gates, was actually offering all these farmers 5 times the money and to destroy their crops and do not sell their foods to the people, to the citizens, to the public, us, and they would pay them off, and they want them to kill and destroy all the animals. That was their goal. A lot of these farmers refused that. They refused to accept Gates's proposal. So this is what they did. Well, if you refused, I'm going to flood you out. And that's what they did. They stopped them by other means. There's a war. There's a war between the bad and the good. And we're caught in the middle of it. Freeland actually she herself is a spy for the Ukraine. She's a double agent. She works for the Ukraine. And no, the real Freeland is gone. This other Freeland is a fake. So the fake one is working as a spy. So I've got the information on that too. When are they gone? Not too long from now. Not too long from now. What you guys see in the chat room, you'll see. Mr. T and Freeland, yeah, they'll be gone before you know it. But we need to follow more great information too, folks. Let's see. Now, what I was informed, okay, Premier Jason Kenney in Alberta, he says no vaccines are mandatory, no internment camps are a choice if you... Okay, I remember this one. Jason Kenney has been threatening, the Premier Jason Kenney of Alberta has threatened that he was going to open up internment camps, as well as forcing mandatory in the arm to the people. And if they didn't, that they're going to go to an internment camp. This is what that threat was. Then I guess the word got out that they know that he knows himself that he was in deep trouble. So apparently, I guess some people paid him a visit. And then he turned around and said on a video that he didn't say anything like that at all. And he's asking people to keep their mouth shut about it. Why is he asking people to keep their mouth shut about it? Like, oh, it's not true. Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk about it. Jason Kenney, anybody can talk about it. You don't realize, buddy, that you already know you're taking a free trip. You know, I can hardly wait for that jewelry to be sent to you. It's actually on its way soon. You should have a special delivery coming pretty soon, and that you're going to enjoy that vacation. It's phenomenal, and some of your friends are going with you, and even that new mayor. I believe that she's going to be taking a trip as well. I don't know yet, but we'll see. They're also saying the BC teachers don't have to in the arm, but they're saying the word but they're asking now they're wanting the ages 5 to 15 to be in the arm. Why? If you guys have got children, you take them out of school, educate them yourself. And Bonnie Henry has no say in the matter whatsoever. Bonnie Henry thinks she's the boss of all leaders. This woman got paid $1.4 million to pretend that she's a goddess or some sort of leader of authority. She's nobody. She's a nobody. And she's taking a free trip too. I pretty well have an idea who's going and who's staying. Let's see here. There's talk about them initiating a protocol in the army. They're trying to scare people. Pat King saying something up to internment camps is going to be for the vax. Same thing. I wrote down initiate protocol for the jab. There's talk about it. And here's the thing, folks. You guys may not realize, and then Pat King would agree. First of all, when this all came out at the beginning, and if you look at, ever seen the folks when we had our lockdowns, the first people they went after was the elders. There was also a proposal to, instead of having an elder's home, they were going to, whenever there's an elder's home or a place to go to, when you decide to go to an elder's home, you're going to be put down like a dog. Yes, you're going to be put down like a dog. There in British Columbia, there was a organization that was talking about once you decide to go to a home, an elder's home, you are in your final journey. You're given 72 hours, and then they put you down like an animal. That was their goal. That's what they wanted to do. A lot of people got really upset about that. This is during the COVID times. This is during when they had the lockdowns at the very beginning, back in 2019-20. They were talking about doing this to all the elders. This is actually happening here in BC. And I was livid. I mean, watching and listening to other people going like, what the hell is going on? You know? Number one, it says, yes, they on Global News, they passed it today for the kids. Number one, they can pass it all they want, but you don't have to. And here's what Dr. Tam had stated back in 2010. She said that if you did not obey the government's rules, that they'll take your children away from you and they'll do it themselves. Or Once you allow your child to go to the school, they'll do it in the kid's arm before you even know about it. There is no law, none whatsoever. That is an absolute lie. Absolute lie. It's still under the Nuremberg Code 2.0. All your child has to do is wear a t-shirt that says Nuremberg Code 2.0 if you touch me. Really? I'm actually encouraging parents to get kids to have a t-shirt put on to go to school and says Nuremberg Code 2.0, don't touch me. That reminds the teacher, whoever else is in that school, guess what? That's all you got to say. Written on your chest, Nuremberg Code 2.0, don't touch me. Because once that child uses those names, that whole line, once that child screams out loud to that person that has that in their hands, and they're about to touch them with that instrument, you can charge them for assault, harming a child. You can. It's a law. It's a weapon. What's in their hands is a weapon. Invasive weapon. Think about it, folks. Use it. It's called an invasive weapon. No child should ever have to go through this. None whatsoever. I've seen different videos sent to me from people from all over, even on Telegram. They're sending me stuff of the kids screaming, being held down by no means, and they're telling the kids, stand still, and they're ramming it in their arm. Next thing you know, the kids are like, and they're carrying him out on a gurney. He's not breathing. Happens here in at every station. There's always a couple of ambulance drivers come walking in. They pick the body up and walk him out, and everybody's still standing in line. Oh, come and get mine too. We'll see what happens to me. Think about it, folks. Use your brain. You think that's what this does. You think it's helping you, protecting you. It never did. It was called an experimental drug. You are guinea pigs. You walk in, like, I remember watching, who was I talking about? You go in as sheep and you come out as lambs. Black ones. Because your blood changes. It turns black. So your blood's no good to the Red Cross once you have it done. Your eyes, and there are newborn babies born with black eyes. Like this guy right here. They're born with these eyes now. I've seen it. After they put it in their arm, after the parent puts it in her arm, whatever, that newborn has these eyes. I've seen videos of it. Do you want to see your kids look like this? Go ahead. That's exactly what's going to happen. I've seen videos. It's not a game, not a movie. Somebody says, oh, someone wrote to me, oh, I don't know why you keep on making up all this conspiracy. It's not. I'm being sent videos in the hospitals, newborn babies. There's 6 babies lined up in a crib or lined up on these little beds. Has these eyes. So that's what you want? If you want your kids to look like this, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I can't say anymore. You know, like God gave us a gift and God gave us a body to take care of, to be responsible for. We are responsible for our own body, not somebody else's. No one has any control over your body. No one. Under God's law, you're responsible for this. Okay? You are responsible for this. I'm responsible for mine. You're responsible for yours. No one else. If anybody gives you advice how to take care of yourself, how to help to heal you, whatever you need, that's available because there are people helping you. I'm not kidding you, Blair. It's real. I've seen the videos. These are in the hospitals. It's real. I'm not kidding. Like a lot of people don't want to see the truth. They don't want to see it. All they want to say, oh, I got blinders. I'm like the horse in the field. I got the blinders. No, I don't want to see it. No, I don't want to see it. I'm going to go straight ahead. No, I want to see it. Or they'll make themselves stay at home. I'm not going to come out. I'm not going to come out. You guys do what you want to do. I'm at home. You can only last so long. You got to see the truth. When I was actually also today, my wife and I did some grocery shopping. I wanted to pick up some stuff, get butter. Walmart, Save on Foods. It's bad. I took pictures of it. Walmart's, there was no meat. And I take it back. There was lots of meat there was no meat in the coolers for all the beefs, but not one pork was taken. The pork was left behind. That was cool. No one touched the pork. They scooped up the beef, but they wouldn't touch the pork. Or they scooped up the fish, every other meat, but the pork stayed behind. I'm not kidding you. Nobody wanted the pork. Why? I wonder. I'm not kidding. That's what I saw. I got pictures of it to prove it. And the butter, oh my God, it went from, the butter was, unsalted butter was $4.75. Salted butter now is $12.50. $12. Organic, $12. A pound of butter. They knew, whoever these people were, knew that there was going to be a food shortage. They knew it. But they had to make a living. Why not the pork? Because pork is considered unclean. It doesn't preserve well in the freezers. Well, it does, but it can only be used for so long. Some people's metabolism cannot handle pork, and pork actually does not that great with the intestines, so to speak. So some people can actually eat it, and others that have a religious belief won't touch it. Because don't forget, a lot of these Walmarts are owned by South Asians or other cultures besides just people like you and me. Us, I'll eat any kind of meat, but I love my wild meat more. Moose, deer, caribou, that's my favorite. Buffalo. More than having to buy beef. I rather buy wild meat. I rather hunt for it. You can survive. My mom and I are one of them. Can't tolerate pork because it causes us headaches. You know what crazy part is? My father one time, he was so proud of cooking or making pork chops, right? And he makes a special mushroom sauce out of his own. My father's a real great chef. He was really good because we once owned a restaurant when I was a kid. And anyways, for some reason, Dad made some really wonderful pork, and it was actually from one of our pigs that they slaughtered. But after I ate the pork, I got sick. I threw up. I lost it. Every time I got to start to chew on the pork, I would throw up. Like, what the heck is going on? Find out later, I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to the pig. Something in my body says, no, you can't eat it. So I didn't. Stopped eating the pork. And I love the smell of pork chops, but I can't eat it. So, and like, you know, Eins Geisha says, my mom and I, are one of them, can't tolerate pork because it causes us headaches. Yeah. Yeah. Fish and turkey, great. Yeah. Salmon, wow. A1, like I grew up on trout and salmon, bass, bass, crayfish. I used to hunt my own crayfish. Like in Manitoba, you go in there and you dip your little liver in the water and you bring up crayfish. They look like little tiny black lobsters. You eat lots of those. Yeah, everybody vibrates certain foods. That's just the way it is. You either like it or don't like it. You can only handle so much. Again, and yet when out and then later on through the years, I didn't mind the bacon. Bacon was okay for a while, and then all of a sudden my throat was going, no, can't have it. You can smell it, love it, cook it, can't handle it. Body won't retain it. So you either do or you don't. And it's just part of metabolism. It tells you what you like and don't like. It just rejects itself. And I think because spirit has a way of telling you that you can't have pork. And I've been told by many people that work in healing fields, they'll say, pork is not anybody who's in the healing field like myself, pork's not recommended to be eaten because it actually slows what it does, it slows the brain to a lull, like you can't think. So after you eat it, it makes you feel like it's almost like a turkey, what the turkey has inside, very similar to what pork can do. So you're sitting there going, oh, you want to sleep. What's in the pork that makes you want to fall asleep? Okay, Carolyn says, Carolyn, okay. Cannot tolerate dairy products. You know what? Here's the thing, folks. If it depends on what dairy. If you are natural dairy, straight from the cow, so that thing is better for you, healthier for you than compared to pasteurized milk. Okay. I'm an ex-farmer. I was a dairy farmer. And I noticed every time that when I was a kid in the farm, regular milk was fine. But as soon as I bought a quart or a pint of milk, say I was going to school and I had a pint of milk that's pasteurized, I would burp and burp and burp, and I would not feel good. My body felt weird. Something was in that milk, because what they do, once they pasteurize it, they take all the real nutrition out of it, and they replace it with their own stuff. Okay. Found out later, I wanted to find out what they're putting in there. The ingredients back in. One's called Senex. Well, Senex actually is baby real. It's the fetus. Part of the fetus is in there. Why is it there? It's called Senex or Senox. Senyx, I believe. So why are they putting it in there? So it just happens. There's some, and like even Carolyn says, and it's true. Sometimes if you drink some milk, make you feel you want to sleep. Well, because there's something in it. A regular glass of milk doesn't make me sleepy. It makes me feel like energy, because this way, when a baby's born, the baby has to have the colostrum. That's the energy. That's the antibacterial, everything that's in there for that child to deal with the nutrition. But yet there are wanting to take all the real stuff out and put in the new stuff, and it changes the taste. It changes the flavor, it changes the energy. It's not the same. I just know it. I know the comparisons of it. Senomex. Thank you very much, Angela. Senomex. Senomyx. It's in it. And it's in actually some of your foods. Your drinks. Have a look. Go online. You'll find it. You have to be very careful what you find. And when you do see it, you're going like, do I want it or I don't want it? Am I going to accept this or not accept this? But they're going to be taking that off the market anyways. They're taking Senomex off the market. In fact, I think they already did. They just want to give people forewarning. There's a lot of new things, or a lot of things that used to be in certain foods that were called flavors or sweeteners. They're taking them out completely too, because they're not the real natural anymore. I noticed even when I used to buy root beer as a kid, the real A&W. Remember, sure you guys used to remember when you were kids, you go down to the A&W and you get your root beer and they put it on a tray and you can hardly wait to have that root beer, and it tastes so good, like the real root beer. And then one day, Coca-Cola bought the company, changed its flavor. It was never the same since. Yeah. It was never the same. They were never the same. Nicole, beaver butt juice. Yeah, kombucha is my favorite. I mean, I love it because it's natural. It gives you the good bacteria, helps the body. For me, it does help me. And anybody dealing with a bacterial issue, that's the best thing to drink is kombucha. I drink it. And then you can have it once a day. You don't have to have the whole bottle. You can drink maybe about a half a bottle of it, and whatever you want to consume. But at least it helps your system feel like it's harmonious. And then the thing is, a person my age, here's the thing. My doctor used to say to me, why are you in the office? Why are you here? You're not sick. A person like you or your age, right? Like I'm 65, and she'll say, the person my age should be sick. Should be something should be wrong with me. No, it's how I take care of myself, how you feel about yourself, right? It's the best thing for you is to have and to feel more like yourself. Angela says, I'm drinking kombucha now. Yeah, good. See, it's very healthy. Good for you. And it's actually, and then you can add flavors. Oh yeah, you can add flavors to it. Some of the natural flavors, they're really great, So the next little while, folks, not too long from now, we're going into the Gregorian calendar. We're in the Gregorian calendar now. We're going into the Julian. We're leaving the Gregorian into the Julian. So everything goes back 10 days. Okay. So anything you've seen so far for example, if you see the 5th of November, you go back 10 days. So the true Julian calendar will be coming out in the next, probably by the end of this year, and by the 2022. We may have the beginning of the Julian calendar, because it's funny, they're distributing calendars out now. And I'm going like, okay. But they'll be shifting them out and change them up after. It'll be brand new calendars coming out, Julian. You watch. Unless they've already been doing it, not telling you, but it's going to happen. Yeah, 2022, all the new Julian calendars come out. But it's just the true, and the reason why they're called Julian calendars is actually the Christ calendar. This is actually the true calendar of Christ. Okay. What else is there before I forget? And then we'll go into doing some readings and stuff. A lot of you guys might not realize, but we have been experimented on, and so have the military, and people from all races have been experimented on since the dawn of time. And there's so many. I've got a lot of history right here to prove that there is everything from every medical experiment you can think of, that a lot of people, lost their lives on account of it. So there was well over 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, which caused by the bacterium, and as you're saying, what it is. So it goes back as far back as the 14th century, right? So people are saying Christmas will be coming on the 24th of November. Let me have a quick look here. Let me grab it. Where are you? Oh, stop it. There we go. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something. No, he wasn't born on that day. Okay, I'm going to give you this here. Have a look at this. Make a copy of it. You may have to refer back to looking at it, but this is the true one. This is what's going to happen. Okay. But look at the date and look at the month. So these are things that are being planned now as we speak. Okay. This is not my writing. This is someone else's and I can't show you guys on the regular, on Facebook I can, but if you want to find out what it is, I can always send it to you guys. You can always ask me later for it, what the true Julian calendar is all about. But it talks about the 24th of November. It's called early Christmas. Right? But there's a reason for it. But again, we go back 10 days because from the Gregorian to the Julian goes back 10 days. So anything you say that you hear, say today's date, people say, for example, they'll say November the 18th. Well, actually, today is November the 8th. See what I mean? So we're going to go back 10 days. So follow that through. Yeah, it was a huge distraction, and it's not accurate whatsoever. I pretty well get an idea. They tried to use every version of anagramming and trying to get to people to believe it, and it was actually the churches themselves that changed the dates and the history way back then during the 1600s. They're the ones that changed it purposely on purpose because that's what they're told to do. And yet when the people of the village, they were dumbed down back then, they thought one day was, and the next thing you know, and the priest would say, no, that's not correct, you're wrong, you got to go ahead 10 days. I'm like, what? It's this date. No, it can't be. Well, you must have been asleep, like, okay, I've been asleep for 10 days. So that sort of thing. They'll always accuse people like you and I that we don't know what we're talking about. Anyways, I'm going to open line, folks, and if you guys wants to call in to ask a question regarding what I'm doing or get a psychic reading, you're more than welcome to ask a question. The area code, put the area code in. 360-566-2875. You're more than welcome to call to ask questions. I'll take your calls. A while back, FB decided to cut back people. Should be, yeah. They decided to cut back people in the chat rooms. So, I may see 20 people in 2025, the most. Normally they're used to allow you hundreds of thousands of people in the chat room. And it depends what you do. But myself, I've been so involved in this work that they said, no, we're only allowing you no more than 100 people. And then and if they didn't like what I did again, oh, you're getting 50. So if by some chance, if you feel that you can't get in, doesn't mean that I'm keeping you out. That means that I'm trying to get people to go to the next page. Area code 778.
Hi, Derek. It's Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well.
Oh, good. I made it up to the Peachland safely in the interior.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm staying with family for now. I guess I have a question.
Yes.
I'm wondering, what is it I'm supposed to be doing for work?
Okay, so what are you doing right now for work?
I don't have a job right now.
No,
I feel like most of...
What did you do before?
I feel like... What did I do before?
Yeah.
I worked in retail with animals.
Okay.
At a pet store.
So you were retailing animals. Okay, that's why they're all short tails.
What's that?
I said you were retailing animals. That's why their tails are so short.
Yeah, I prefer animals over people most days.
Yeah, well, that's why all the women like to keep on telling their husbands they're a bunch of nothing but an animal. Yeah. What is it with women? They always give men an animal identity.
Yeah.
Like you pig, or you're laughing like a horse, or you're eating like a goat. And why do you keep adding?
Here's another thing, Derek.
Yes.
I'm looking for my moose.
Looking for your which?
I'm looking for the moose of a man.
You're looking for a man.
I'm looking for a moose of a man.
Oh, moose of a man, like big guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for my protector. Somebody to stand beside me for this stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, that will happen sometime. I thought you had somebody in your life already.
Maybe somebody I'm talking to, but I don't know if they're my moose.
Okay. Now there's a moose and then there's moo.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, let's talk about your work. Okay.
Okay.
Let's get about you. Find out what you're doing here for work. Okay. First of all, I'm hearing animal therapy. So it's therapeutic. So I recommend to start going back to school, and taking a course in animal therapy.
Okay.
Like massage therapy, that sort of thing, for animals. And
I did. Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also I would recommend to learn to become an animal communicator. Become an animal communicator.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I do communicate with the animals sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we understand each other.
Exactly, because and once you start creating your business as an animal communicator, like for example, if a client comes to you and say, well, I don't know why my dog's acting like this, because not every vet can fix a symptom of attitude. They're only taking it as a medical, but they're not seeing it as a psychological. Depends on what it is. Some doctors can give you an answer and other doctors cannot, or vets cannot. So this way here, I recommend for you to look at the idea of having to take a course in animal therapy as well as communication.
Okay.
Yeah. because you'll be hugely successful in it, and you'll be earning an income as an independent. You don't have to work for anybody else but yourself.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I will say this: you do have a hard time. You have a hard time working for somebody else because you have your own ideas that would you already know that would succeed, and others don't.
Yeah.
But you have that motivation and gift, and I think you need to follow through with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and as far as, let's see here. You're, I'm not sure if you're actually in a relationship, but for some reason I'm feeling there's not something that's permanent is expected to be. Because it shows me that there's a bit of an emptiness between both you and the person that you're with right now.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Okay. Are you with someone in your life now? Yes or no?
No, I'm not in a relationship.
Okay. I'm being shown here in the paper, like I'm writing it down, your energy, it shows me here it's almost like a ghost of transparency. The transparency means there's nobody there, but you're not really trying to find someone to be in your life. So I would say right now is not to worry about that part. Oops. I don't know why they did that for. No, it's not supposed to cross over. But I would say your best bet to do is to wait a little bit until after 2022. And you'll be looking around spring, summer, or you will be deciding to go into a relationship. Can you hear me? Or did I lose you? Oh my God, lost her. Okay, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why the call dropped.
Yeah, it's not your fault. Actually, someone phoned in and it cut out you. Like it just crossed over you. So that's something I've never seen that before. Skype doesn't. It's really crazy. There's so many lines crossing over. I'll tell you why. Today I was actually in a store shopping, and my phone was not ringing, but someone, and I had my phone in my pocket, right, while shopping, and I can hear, hello, Derek, can you hear me? Hello, Derek, are you there? Derek, and I'm like, what? Where? I'm looking around, and my phone. I open it up, and somebody's actually chatting or trying to communicate with me through Facebook. I never answered.
wow.
I never answered Facebook. Like I never called anybody, and I can't say it pocket dialed because it didn't. But for some reason, my phone called that person. Mm-hmm. Right? So that tells me that the phone lines are now being messed with.
Okay.
So again, what I'm saying tonight, when something is not supposed to be shared in public, or not public, but something's not that if spirit, if someone does not want you to know what's true that will help you, they try to shut you out and stop you from hearing it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying the caller after you, but just say there's other people there's other things, there's certain people that come in, and even though of another person not knowing would phone in, they'll say, oh, did I cut her off? No, they didn't. But there's a phone line in there because I'm seeing this thing come up on the screen, and then it knocked you out and then he came in. Well, they can't do that. Right? So watch your lines closely, folks, on your phone lines. Make sure they're not breaking into it, because there's new people out there now that are hacking phone lines, pretending to be somebody they're not.
Okay, I'll be on alert for that.
Yeah, because it happened to a lot of people, and they got me too. Not a bad person I phoned, by the way. Go ahead, my dear.
Trying to tell there.
You're saying?
I didn't catch the end of what you were trying to tell me before the call dropped.
Oh, what I just finished mentioning about, I said, not to worry about relationship until after next year for spring, summer. You'll decide to get into a relationship by then. By that time, you'll start focusing on alternatives, as far as your work is concerned. And when that comes about, then you'll be meeting that person in your life, because he too will also have interest in you at the same time. Yeah. You will, like, you both will relate to each other's interests as far as working with animals.
Okay.
Yeah. If you haven't worked in a animal control center, I recommend it. Go in there as a volunteer once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah. Or volunteer in a rescue center for animals. That'll give you some practice.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Derek.
No problem.
Okay, you have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. 360-566-2875. Give me a call if you ask a question, want to ask about something relates to a reading or something to talk about this evening. Lots to talk about, folks. There's a lot of crazy things are going on. Like I said, where our flood did not, most people think our flood is what it was as a regular flood. It's not. It was managed for a reason, because what I understood, they found some. Erico 306.
Yeah, Derek, Keith here.
Hey, Keith, how's it going?
Okay. Not bad. Okay, I just had a downturn in my health. I just found out I'm borderline diabetic. What's in the future for me? Am I going to have to take needles?
No, you won't. Borderline diabetic does not mean that you are diabetic. Borderline diabetic means you could possibly be, but if you take care of your health, you won't have to be diabetic.
Okay, well, I just cut out all my sugar, and I threw all away, tossed away all the sugar drinks I have.
Well, well, sugar drinks are not good for you anyways.
But I like them.
Yeah, I know. What happens, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what kind of sugar drink you're drinking.
I was drinking a lot of iced tea mix,
Yeah.
Orange pop mix. Not pop mix, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
as long as it's natural drink, natural orange juice, anything that's natural is fine. What they're pointing out is if you have too much unnatural sugars, because basically, for example, people are drinking lots of Pepsi, lots of Coke, the sodas. That's what you don't want to be drinking, right?
Yeah,
because
and I'm overweight, so I've cut back down on my portions.
And eat lots of greens, my friend. You need lots of dark greens. That's going to help you a lot too.
Okay, and my last question is this: how close are we to the finish line?
Oh, we're close. We're close.
Well, we had the emergency broadcast test yesterday.
Oh, it came up, eh? Some people said to me, people said to me or wrote in the chat room tonight, they're going like, I didn't see it. Well, I tell people, it will arrive in different provinces a little bit at a time, not all at once.
Yeah. Well, it came over my internet. Well, it came over the television. That's where it came over.
Yeah, that's letting you know ahead of time. Be prepared. Be prepared for the 10 days.
Okay, and another thing is these food shortages coming up.
Yeah.
Like the only rail line from British Columbia open is the Prince Rupert line right now. And you can drive into Prince Rupert, but you can't get into the Port of Vancouver or any of those ports around Vancouver.
All of the roads are closed.
So everything's shut down.
Yeah, we are. We don't, like I tell people, all of Vancouver cannot get anybody coming in. The only way they can come in is by plane or helicopter. Like Abbotsford and Chilliwack are still shut down. There's a lot of businesses that were forced to close. I also want to give a big shout out to it was actually an East Indian pizza company, a pizza business in Hope, and they were giving away free pizzas for people that needed to eat when they were actually being flooded out of their homes. I want to give them a big shout out and thank you very much. Also, a lot of the East Indian communities that put together food baskets and food meals, and they went by helicopter and by plane over to Hope and brought the food over to the people to make sure they had food in on their plate on the table. So big shout out to them all.
Yeah, like it's
and also other
really
people
rough
too.
for all those. It's really rough in British Columbia right now.
It is.
Did you get did you find out a charity that you can trust in British Columbia?
Right now, they're not taking any money. They're just taking foods. So, because like I would not give any money to the Red Cross because the Red Cross will just keep it for themselves. I know what they do. Let's put it this way: the Red Cross works for the deep state.
Deep state, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the Sally Ann?
No. I'm sorry. It's a preference of your own, wherever you do. But let's put it this way. I remember years ago when I was a kid, when you don't have any clothing, the Sally Ann used to give you free clothing. They'll give you 2 free pairs of pants, 2 shirts, a couple pairs of socks, and a pair of shoes and a coat. That was free.
Yes.
Now you have to buy it. The Salvation Army became Selfish Army. Not Salvation.
Yeah,
it's Selfish Army.
I used to donate off my check to the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
The old veterans used to donate to the Sally Ann. And the reason they told me was because when they were overseas, they had to pay for their coffee from the Red Cross. But the Sally Ann used to give them a coffee and a donut. Yeah. For free.
Sally Ann is a major billionaire. It's a Salvation Army actually is a multi-billion-dollar corporate church, or not even a church. It's an organization. And then these people, why do you think these people dress up in military outfits and one calls himself a major and a colonel? Major means militarized, and it's working for a corporation. So all these people wear these uniforms. Well, they're not representing a Canadian American uniform. They represent their own version of an army, and that is to, and that it wasn't. I mean, it used to be years and years and years ago that they would try to rescue people off the street that were homeless, people that were drinking, needed help, get them on their feet. That's what it was before. It became the Selfish Army. There are some great people that go in there to volunteer, thinking that they're helping the community. There's a little bit. People volunteer for the Christmas thing. They stand there all day and trying to get you to donate money in that bucket, and all that money goes into the board's pocket. The board of the Sally Ann, it goes into their board. You don't see that money. All they have to do is hand out 10% of the money for the public, and 90% of it goes to themselves. Okay.
Yeah, and the name of that hotel was the Met.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just where the Met Hotel is, right on Columbia Street.
Yeah.
That's where my wife and I stayed, right there.
Ah, okay.
Okay, yeah. and down below was where that big fire was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that. I remember that fire down below. Yeah.
I'll call it the boardwalk, but it was called the Pier something.
Yeah.
The Pier Park. Okay.
Yeah.
And I got a picture of the Big M. That was there. Like there was a thing that named the park, and the park started with an M.
Yeah.
They had a big M in the park, so I got a picture of that before they got burnt.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thank you for the reading, and my health should be okay.
You'll be fine.
So
Trust your feelings, trust your heart. You'll be fine, my friend.
okay.
The day will come when the med beds arrive.
Well, they're supposed to arrive this year.
Yes, they will.
And that's all the information I'm getting. So,
yep.
So with luck, I'll be able to heal my back and my knee, my shoulder.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you go, and I thank you very much, and bye for now.
Okay, take care, my friend. People are asking, okay, Marty's asking, can anyone tell me how the Abbotsford Airport is doing? Abbotsford Airport is, they are flying in and flying out foods, staples for people. All I know is that the semi trucks cannot get into BC. So I guess what they're doing now is they're, oh, by the way, the whole town of Merritt is flooded as well, by the way, Merritt. I've been there to Merritt many, many times, not just get my gas, but I did a paranormal investigation in there. And the whole city is flooded. It's gone. And yeah, but what I understood, there's actually an underground, okay, another underground tunnel that's there. That's called a dam, and that got flooded, and the town got nailed with it. So, how fun and okay. Yeah, how can you find about? I just email me regarding the med bits, and or you can actually text me, and I can send you a video on it and some pictures, and you can have a look at it. And they'll be coming out. What I understand, they're already out now. They're going to healing centers, not to hospitals. They're going to healing centers, and they're looking for. They will be looking for doctors and nurses to get the training how to use these specific type of MBs are to do a lot of fantastic stuff to fix your body, to fix your anything and everything that you're dealing with. But I can explain more to you regarding that. There's a couple of videos I have of this lady, and she tells her story about the MBs, and but that will be coming out soon. Actually, there's a couple of them actually already in the United States now, but they're doing it they're using them specifically to take care of the kids, and to help them. And but what people will be doing is using them. Whatever your symptoms are, they'll be shown. You can talk to them about it, and you sign up, and they go, and you lay on them, and depending on this, I can explain more about it. I can be one whole hour regarding this whole thing. So you can always ask me after, and I explain all of it to you, or I can send you a couple of videos on it and what they look like. I've been on them myself when I were on one myself back in 2002-3. Not on Earth, I was on it on the ship. So that's where I was, on a specific flying ship, not a human-made ship. It was up there. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, I would find out about it. And also, oh, by the way, folks, if you guys want to know more about what I'm doing, and join my Telegram page, look for @White Sky Cloud, or I'm also have a page on Telegram called True North Strong and Free. That's also my page, and you get to see all the things that are going on all across the world, and a lot of, and voice your opinion in there. Like anything you want to say or share, please do. I'd love to hear from you guys. That's what our job is to be. We are all digital warriors by some means, and we're here to help each other out. That's what this is for, right? And I want to see the world back to what it is. Let's take our normality back. We've suffered for over 2 years, almost 2 years now. Enough is enough. But they want to keep this going. They want to make it, and these bad guys want to keep this control. They want to see how many people they can control and remove us out. And ain't gonna happen. I'm fighting for you guys. I'm out there doing what I can do. You still can't find me there? Okay. Hang on a second. Just un momento. Let's do this. Where is me? Okay. What I'll do is give me a second here. I'll put you guys in this room here. Okay. I'm going to give you the link here on. That's me. That's my page. True North Strong and Free. I'll send you that link in the YouTube, and then you can have a look and click on that and find me there and join me as a friend, and I'll get you hooked up. Okay. Summer Rain. Hey, nice to see you. So let's see what else we got here. What else is going on? So if you guys find me, those who have not found me yet on YouTube, my page is called Chasing Shadows. So if you want to find me in the chat room, in the YouTube chat room, go to my page on Facebook and you'll see just under that line and it says Chasing Shadows. Click on that, takes you to the page on YouTube. I'm in that chat room there as well. So I'm back and forth. So that's where I am. So if you guys get froze up in the Facebook, you can drop into YouTube, right? Yeah, working from there. Anything else to add in? There are a lot of famous actors and entertainers, people that were put into protective custody that are coming out in the next little while. And they'll be exposing themselves in the public again to say, hey, I'm back. So when you do see them, celebrate, because it's going to happen. They're coming forward now. They're starting to speak up. Now, to let you know, Mr. T, the U.S., is still the P. He's still the boss. And he'll be re-inaugurated as the 19th president of the new republic. And that's going to still happen, folks. It's still going to come up, and so soon. It's like just that much, right? So we'll see what happens. What else? So as long as I share this with you as much as possible, but be very aware of what's happening on TV and what you see in the media. Don't trust all that, folks. Anything you see out there, like I tell people, the mainstream media is out there specific to do one thing, and is actually to distract you. They want you to believe everything that they tell you because they're told what to say. There's no such thing as journalism anymore. There isn't. Not in them. They get the odd one. I mean, I've been doing journalism on my own, but at least I find the truth. I try to get the word out there as much as possible. I try to give you, heard the old financial system is finally at its last limb. Actually, it's done. The old financial system is over. It's already been collectively. We were already starting in the Jasara now as we speak. Yeah, it already has kicked in. So you'll be hearing more about it. In the States, it has. Here in Canada, it probably be just a little bit longer, possibly. But you hear more and more about it all the time. I mean, I got heck from a friend of mine telling me, well, how come you're not doing the gold? I got screwed 5 years ago over it. I thought didn't know I want to get more involved in it. And I told him what I went through. And then he said, join this one. So we'll see. I'm going to work on it, look at it first and look it over. But it has nothing to do with the gold standard that does not exist anymore, nor is it as bit. I'm not going to say any more of it. I'm not involved in that either, because it's going to be gone before you know it. You want to start something brand new. There's some really good ones coming out soon. That's what they were saying. I'm a little more leery of what I see, but I got friends that are trying to help me, which I really appreciate a lot. Okay. What you guys may not know either, before I forget, is that at the beginning, we talked about, as well I mentioned before, I didn't finish it, but the elders, they were trying to go after the elders first to remove them off this planet, so to speak, and they were trying to use the word, I guess you'd say, putting them down like a dog, right? Euthanize. And they were trying to create euthanizing centers. That was their first goal. The second goal was then the public, basically the average mom and dad who's got families and or. Second of all, then the final kick was all indigenous people, all African American people, all Hispanic people, anybody who speaks Spanish. That this is what their goal was, to depopulate those three races first. And then whoever is going to volunteer to have that in their arm. That was the next thing. So basically, they're almost down to the point of getting people to believe what you can or cannot do, right? And I'm telling you guys the absolute truth. Watch what you see, what you hear, because not everything you say that you have to have the first one in your arm, the second one in your arm, that's all, it ain't real. It's just, it's all experiment. Even the third one is a bad one. It's a nasty, right? It's the worst. You don't want to have it. It's something that was put out back in 1984 to kill the gay people, to kill the LGBTQ people, and they put that into the third one. So you don't want to take the third. So, and if you did, you're going to need help to get better. So, but if you need some help to help you along a little bit, let's see. Yes, Marty says his cell phone went off. Yep. People are saying that the E, B, and the S is coming up now. It's hitting everybody in some places, so it's expected. And but when you start hearing those and seeing those, that means it's beginning. Things will begin to happen. We may end up having one more lockdown. We may. I'm not saying we will. We may. Depends on what's going to happen next. Yes, very much so. Yeah. Oh, definitely, because the real one, the VP, the real one actually is gone. The mask is a famous singer who died in a plane accident. So she is in her place. Now you know. Okay. Let's see here. Who else? Same with Mr. B. Someone is being him. So you'll hear all about it. Okay. What else we got here? People are asking me why I named the show Chasing Shadows. It's because we've been chasing shadows all of our lives. We're always looking for, yes, she is. Summer, she is. She is he. We have been looking for, answers. And I used to hear from people all the time to say, well, you do nothing but chasing your shadow. And I thought, hey, why not? Let's call it Chasing Shadows, because, you're investigating things that are in the bump of the night. You're shadow chasing. Only the shadow knows, the old famous TV series. So I took that. I used that, and it's working pretty good so far. I mean, it's been accepted, and we'll see what happens. So we're going to carry on the show. So far, it's doing well, and I really appreciate you guys being connected to it and looking forward to it. Please subscribe if you can, and to give it as much thumbs up as possible, because add that in. And if you guys are ever interested, if anybody's interested in wanting to get a full 1 hour reading, I charge $130 an hour, or $65 for half an hour. You can always call to book an appointment with me. You can also go to my website, whiteskycloud@yahoo.com. That's my email, or whiteskycloud.com, my website. Have a look at some of that I've got. And I got to do some updating on my website, because the company itself that used to provide all the good stuff for me, they shut down their business. So now I've got to find another server to rebuild my page. So we'll see what happens. Okay, Stephanie is saying, yay, my phone has been attempting to make me update to use it for 2 days. Feel like the updates have a play in the yes. That's what it's doing right now. Everyone's going through that little hit and miss, and is messing with your phone. You're not the first, you won't be the last. We're all getting hit with it. Like I said, when my phone rang me, or it didn't ring me, it called me. I had this in my pocket like this, and I had my coat on me, and I'm in the store shopping, and then I hear, hello, Derek, are you there? Derek, hello. Is that you, Derek? Hello. And I go like, what? And I'm looking around first to see if somebody's calling me from outside. And then I look at my phone, and here someone actually is on Facebook thinking that I was calling them. That's exactly what it's doing. My Facebook was calling people, and I never even touched it. It was just, this is how the screen looked. So there's no way that should have called them, but it did. So everyone's having phone issues. So you just go with it. And my apologies for disturbing the person that did call me. I won't mention her name, but I'm sorry that she got called. I didn't mean to do that. If I did, but I did apologize. There are times I've actually had my phone call me where I answered it, and I can hear people talking, and they're talking. I kept talking, say, hello, is anybody there? Hello, is anybody there? And I try to find out. Nobody's answering me. I must have been there for at least, maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes. I'm listening to everything they're saying. And I thought, okay, I might as well hang up. I'm just probably being invasive. So I shut it off, or, hung up, called back, and I said, oh, you guys called me. No. Yeah, you did. I said, you guys phoned me about maybe more than 10 minutes ago. You left me, and you're talking away, talking about specific certain things. And they said, what did you hear? And I said, I was mentioning all the things that they said. And they said, we never talked about that. That was over 2 weeks ago. I was picking up the etheric time 2 weeks before. An etheric, or 2 weeks in the past, I was picking up 2 weeks of their. Now, who sent that to me? Why was I supposed to hear it? Okay. The phone is used to pick up people's etheric past or conversations. So it's part of the ether. Interesting, isn't it? Recorded in the ether, all those conversations. And that's what I was able to hear. And I explained to him what I heard, what all the words that I've overheard on the phone. And when I told him about it, he said, there's no way I should have known. There's no way I should have known anything about that. So the phone called me. And it wasn't his cell phone. It was his landline. Back in those years, he never had a cell phone. He had a landline. His landline phoned me on my cell phone. Go figure that one. A phone that hangs up this way, face down, you pick it up this way, right? That's a landline. This is all I had. I'm talking. So, yeah, that's what happens. Anyways, I think we'll call it a night. Thank you guys for being part of this program, Chasing Shadows, Between Two Worlds. And I'm hoping I'm back here again next week for the YouTube page. But I'll be back here next Thursday. And you guys be good to each other. Take good care of each other. If you want, again, if you have any more questions, if you want anything you want to talk about regarding the alternative, the health-wise, just give me a scream, email me, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so Marty says, I listened to the Edmonton City Police on their radios from my cell. Yeah, you can pick up the lines, man. I'm telling you. It's really cool. Yeah, it was certain. I have a wireless headset for my radio show that I normally would have it on in the studio at home here. I can pick up, and when I walk into my living room, I can pick up someone talking on the phone across the road, talking to their family members on their telephone on my wireless headset. They're having a conversation back and forth between not just her phone talking, both lines talking. Okay, I'm listening in. Now, how is it that my headset can pick up that far to her? And she was like, oh man, I can give you the details of all the things she talked about regarding her family. Right? And I would say about a block away. Yeah, half a block away. I heard everything because I kept on tilting my ear this way with the headset, and I can hear her talking. And if I turn this way, I don't hear her. So certain times we have these other headsets or some of our cell phones has a little type of an antenna that will pick up just in certain angle, will pick up the conversations, whether it's the police or whether it's private. Yes, our phones can do that. The older the phone, the more accurate you can still hear people. The newer ones today, you can't hear as much. Like you can't hear everything. So, Marty, you're not the first. You won't be the last. It's happened to all of us, I'm sure. Okay. Trust your heart. Trust your feeling. Your all the things that are going on in your life, guys. Do me a favor. Try not to put that thing in your arm. If you are feeling that you got to go for the second or third, don't do it. Please understand. Don't do it because in the end, you're going to regret it. And because this is going to, and if they'll say, well, I have to, if I got to keep my job, you don't have to keep your job. There's no law says that you have to get fired because you refuse. That is no law. There is no law that they can't do it. They can't make you. Sorry. You were hired to do a job. You weren't hired to force something in your freaking arm to work for your boss. If your boss wants to do that, then charge him. Your boss can be charged. Years ago, okay, Lucy says, years ago, our baby monitor used to pick up our neighbors' home conversations. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So it's I've heard some really interesting stuff. Yeah, because people don't realize how strong some of our communication systems can work. You could pick up some really interesting stuff, right? And there's a lady friend of mine who actually, there's a store called the Spy Store, and she had this pen, and she bought this pen, and it's a microphone, or it's like a headset. Well, actually, it's a microphone, and she puts it in her pocket, and it has a little tiny wire, and it goes around, and it goes right inside your ear and pocket this way. So, and when you hear the thing, when this thing is in your ear, it looks like you actually have an earbud, as if you have a hearing problem. They don't know this is hooked up inside your outfit. So she's got this pen, and it's a microphone, but actually it's also an antenna, so it can pick up all kinds of stuff. So she's walking in front of people's houses, or not houses, businesses, and if they're on the phone, she can actually hear them talking to each other or talking, and she could pick up any conversation. So, that's what happens. It's fun to come up with all these interesting technical, I guess, toys that we've got, eh? Yeah. Anyways, be good to each other, guys, and please share this as much as you can. Subscribe with myself on YouTube, as well as if you don't know me, if you're just getting to know me, pass this around to everybody else that are friends of yours. If you are just begin to be a new friend, that's fine. Love to hear from you. And I'll talk to you guys next week. And in between time, they're calling it a night. Take care, guys. Be good to each other. Peace out. And may God be all with you all.
Everyone lives Everyone died. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Make peace, make peace, peace. Brother, stop dying. Isn't it time? Mother, stop dying. Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together.